We've had 3 wins since our last show, making it 6 in a row. But the most notable one was last night where Joel Embiid dropped 70 points against the Spurs in a 133-123 victory on the anniversary of Kobe's 81-point game, which is wild in itself. And that Embiid actually posted on Instagram. He put Kobe. He put 70 and he put Kobe on there. So I thought that was pretty cool. But Embiid's stat line ended with 70 points, 18 boards, 5 assists in 37 minutes. Obviously, we talk about how the amazing season that Embiid is having, but I don't think we talk about him enough in a way that we talk about more about trades. We talk about kind of enjoying the moment of having Embiid because, it's just one of those things, you don't really get to see this kind of play that often. But just quick thoughts here. How special was last night's performance by Joel Embiid?
To me, it was extremely special. One of the best individual moments you can experience being a Sixer fan and someone in the Sixers uniform. I think sometimes we have so much talent that come through this league and so much talent that come through these teams that these special moments like this you kind of take for granted because you feel like they come more often than they really do. Just think of all the great players and all the great scorers that have come through Philadelphia, and none has scored 70. That tells you how great of a feat that is and how hard it is to actually do it. And then to do it in the amount of minutes that he did it in a somewhat competitive game.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the force-fed 70 that we've seen in the past with some guys. Even though they were making sure they gave him the ball, it was still within the flow of the game.
Yeah.
It was still within us, basically the same amount of rest that he usually gets.
Yeah.
So that's what made it, very special for me to sit there and watch and first, when he went off for he about to get 50, 40. He about to get 50. He about to get 60. You might as well let him get 70. So it was that's how the game went. So I just think once he had that great first quarter scoring and then he had that great third quarter, you like, okay, well, I think they would have left it at 60 until the Spurs kept kind of coming back and making it more interesting. So once they did that, it was like, okay, well, let's kind of leave him in there. And then once he kind of left him in there, we're like, well, let's just go get 70 then. Since we're here.
Why not just do 80?
It's not like you just end up at 60 almost every game. So
yeah, I know. Once you're there, let's see if we can pull this out. Yeah, that was awesome, and it was really cool. He actually talked about that, saying he kept telling the team to play basketball. Don't just pass me the ball. Don't play out of the ordinary. I want you just to play a normal game as if this isn't happening. And they did for the most part. Yeah, you could tell they were still trying okay, Joel, let me get you 70. You could tell they kept trying to do that, but it was pretty in rhythm. And it's funny because you look at the other game where 70 was on watch with Cat, and it's like the complete opposite. Anthony Edwards basically said we lost because we just started watching him score a lot, and we just got completely out of the game. Their coach did the same thing. He said it was a disrespectful. Can you imagine that? Scoring that much and your coach comes out saying it's like a disrespectful night for basketball? We disrespected the game tonight because they just sat there and watched him to see how much he can score in a game, like a 2K game or something. And, you got hours like that, everyone's been loving it because, again, like you said, it just came in a good basketball night. The goal was to win and to play the right way. And while doing that, he pulled out 70. Whereas it was just all right, I'm getting the ball every time. I don't care if you're wide open. I'm scoring as many as I can get tonight. Forget the win-loss. It just came so naturally. And it was awesome to see. It was, probably, I'd say that people were saying the best Philadelphia 76er performance of all time in a game. And there are so many crazy stats and milestones on social media. I just want to, circle back and draw attention to them. So post-merger, it's the 4th highest scoring average in a season. and his 54, 38, 89 splits are better than everyone else is on that list. That includes 87 Jordan. That includes 19 Harden, 06 Kobe, 88 Jordan, 20 Harden. I mean, no one has a higher field goal percentage. No one has a higher three-point percentage. And no one has a higher free throw percentage on that list of people, which is crazy because you're talking about a center and all these other guys who were guards, which is it's insane. True shooting percentage for players with averaging 35 points per game seasons, highest of all time, higher than Jordan's 88 season, making it the most efficient.
I would think his percentages would be higher than those guys.
Field goal percentage, yeah, but three-point percentage?
Yeah, even 3, because sometimes they maybe Jordan, and because Jordan didn't really shoot a lot of 3s, so
George was the lowest.
The likelihood, to be the lowest with the fewest attempts. Kobe took so many contested tough shots. Like, I get what you're saying, but that's not necessarily shocking to me.
And free throw?
That may be free throw because they were both really good free throw shooters.
Yeah, all those guys were Harden, Kobe, and Jordan.
Yeah. So that, but it's not like they had bad free throw percentage. He just had a really good one.
Yes, I think one of them's tied with him. They're just no one's above him. No one has a higher percentage.
So that shows that the season that he's having is unique. He's following up a MVP season, but these are the type of things you have to do to follow up an MVP season. Because 2 weeks ago, people were like, I don't know if he's an MVP again. Now it's like almost clear he's number one. Like, I don't even think you can have. I'm sure you have some people that feel like, oh, he's just a scorer. But
it's a travesty if he doesn't get MVP.
Say it again.
Travesty if he doesn't get MVP this year because of the games played.
I think this year is more. At this moment right now in the season, this year is clearer than last season.
To me.
To me. But I can be called biased. But I'm just saying, to me, this year is clearer. Because I remember I was one on saying last year I thought Giannis was closer to Joker and Embiid. This year I don't feel that way. Yeah. Even though Giannis is having another great year.
Yeah.
I still feel that it's a difference, and they've taken James away, and the production's been better.
I almost feel like if he has like one game left on that MVP threshold, if he's injured, you play him and then sit him down after a second, just to get that game played.
There's certain rules, or that game won't count though. They have rules for that type of thing.
How much you have to play? Do you know what the rule is?
I don't know, but I know that they did address that.
That's interesting. I wonder how much time you have to play.
Look it up, but I know for a fact that they addressed that because that was a topic of conversation of guys just starting and then leaving the game. You had to play a certain amount. You had to do a certain thing for that game to count. If it wasn't for injury.
It's hard because when I go to minimum, it goes to minimums game played. How minutes? That's so tough. Yeah, I'm gonna have to deep dive this afterwards. Yeah. That's interesting though. Whatever that is, man, have him run in circles or just stand in the middle of the court for 5 minutes and then pull him. Like he can't. I mean, I just think this would be one of the best seasons lost for a guy at this point, at least. I don't see him trailing off and averaging only 15 points the rest of the season. So, so true shooting percentage for players with 35 points per game seasons, highest of all time, higher than Jordan's 88 season, making it the most efficient high volume scoring season of all time. And yes, that includes Wilt seasons. I feel like I always have to clarify that. It's a BWAW, before Wilt, after Wilt.
Yeah. Even he was surprised last night that Wilt had never done what he did last
night. Because he still didn't believe it. He was like, I don't know. I'm going to have to look up historical records or something to see about that. I don't know how Wilt didn't do that. Embiid versus 500 teams or better.
Let's be fair to Joel. Let's be extremely fair to him and not compare him to Wilt Chamberlain's numbers.
Yeah. You're right.
Because Wilt Chamberlain's numbers and records are so crazy.
Yes.
Let's be fair to Joel.
That's why he couldn't believe it. He was like, wait a minute.
Man.
He's like, Wilt never did this? He's like, I don't believe it. You guys must have gotten something wrong. Like, that's not.
But I'm just saying, like, Wilt, his numbers are so crazy, man. Like, his numbers are so crazy, people dismiss what he did.
Yeah. Wilt's numbers would be like Embiid coming to our pickup basketball games on Tuesday. And if someone collected the stats from
that's why they dismiss his numbers, because the numbers that he put up is like unimaginable right now in the NBA. Like, who would average 50 and 25? Average. Guys getting 70 and 18, and we're like, man, this is incredible.
Yeah, that was almost a nightly thing for him.
25, man. Come on, man. That's what I'm saying. His numbers are so crazy. People just like, you know what? He was playing against. That's where the whole he's playing against plumbers comes from.
Just put him over there.
They can't believe that someone was actually putting up those numbers.
Yeah.
Almost every young dude I talk to, they be like, oh man, he wasn't playing against nobody. And they have no clue who he played against outside of Bill Russell.
Yeah.
They have no clue. You know, I had an older guy have a conversation with me that he asked me a question. And I thought about it. It was an interesting question. He said, take the NBA right now. It's 30 teams. I said, yes. He said, cut it in half. I said, what do you mean? He said, make it 16 teams. I said, okay. He said, do you think it'd be more talent on each team if it was only 16 teams? I was like, yeah. He said,
more talent on each team, yes.
Yeah. He said, well, okay. Well, if teams play with more teams, it don't necessarily mean they had less talent. Sometimes it means they have more talent.
That's a good point.
So I was like, well, that's interesting. That's an interesting point.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily agree with it because we still got the same top players. But
you said that was an older guy that said that to you?
Say it again. It was an older former player that's older than me.
Okay, I was gonna say that's definitely an older thing to bring up. A young guy wouldn't be bringing up that.
An older player that I didn't play against, so he was much older than me. But he was talking about how people dismiss when they played because it was like fewer teams and stuff like that. And I've always said that, I respect that part of the game, that time of the game. I just know that with the advancements of the game and advancement of technology and advancements of medical, it's different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's different, even for when I played.
And I know there's a lot of talk a bit in the past about him like just beating up on bad teams and stat padding. So that's why I have the Embiid versus 500 teams or better. 35.6 a game, 10.2, and 5.8 assists. Obviously, he has the 21 straight 30-point games, trailing only Wilt 25, Wilt 31, Harden 32, and Wilt 65. So, again, let's just go ahead and say that 65 is never going to be broken because if Embiid broke the 65 record, I'd put him in the top like 20 of all time, maybe even top 10 because 65 straight games, you're talking about like legendary status. Like that's like, again, playing like with our, Will did 20. He did 20 plus. Will did 20 plus 4 times, man. 20 plus 4 times. What you mean? You mean only got 20? You mean under 30?
No, I'm saying he did 20 plus of 30 plus games 4 times.
Yeah, I know.
4 times, right?
I want to watch the game that broke all those streaks.
So
that's what I want to see.
James, I'm saying James is in there for doing it. James is in there for doing it once, and now Joel was in there for doing it once. He did it 4 times, and then one of those times was 65. So right now, that's what 13, 14 more games than Joel and James combined.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, let's just do Joel a favor and not compare him to Wilt and Wilt's numbers. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, man.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's like that, people on social media, they do like, how many games or whatever stat it is, and they have like the empty slots and then like wilt. So it's like wilt and like all the way down here, Harden 35. It's like, dude, I mean, that is Harden 32. Sorry. That's crazy. I mean, shows you how great Harden's season was that year too, by the way. I mean, that's ridiculous. But yeah, man, it's crazy. It's what a great season he's having. And I don't want to take it for granted. The reason why we do take it for granted, or people do, is because we're accustomed to watching him average 35 plus, right? So like, but doing it on a night-to-night basis it's crazy impressive. But like, he averages that now. So it's like, well, but think about it, 70 is double that. 35 is already an unbelievable, like, elite player status to be in. And then you got double that in a game. It's just, it's crazy. It really is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Moral story.
Okay,
I know
I just found that article. Where the games play article.
Oh, about minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm looking at it right now. It is, you got to play 65 games, and you got to play at least 20 minutes in those games.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay.
20 minutes in those 65 games.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
So if you played 15 minutes or so in those games, if he played less than 20 in any of those games that he's played in, they didn't count.
Wow. Yeah.
Like I said, unless you went out for an injury, but if it's just them just taking you out,
that's crazy.
you got to play 20 minutes. That's what I said. I remember, I knew that it was some rule, that it was a minutes rule that they added because so they wouldn't have the situation where guys would start and sit out.
Yeah.
For the rest of
20 minutes is a lot, right? So that means they were thinking, they were like, guys might abuse this.
But it's 20 minutes. But it's 20 minutes of. But it's 20 minutes of the 65 games.
Yeah.
20 minutes. That's So it's really just at the end of the season. Could eliminate guys sitting out, and it can eliminate teams guys just a team doing it on purpose.
Yeah. He hasn't had anything below 20 yet.
It was a CBS. I seen it on it was a CBS report that came out like it was it actually came out in April 17th of 2023. Someone named Jasmine Wembish wrote it. Mm-hmm. And it was like new details emerged about the tournament threshold and all that. So it was written by CBS News Sports, April 17th, 2023. If you want to read it.
Yeah, no one's gonna sit there and do nothing for 20 minutes. I mean, I forget about that. So that's not happening.
Yeah.
Damn.
Just a quarter and a half, or a little bit more than a half. Yeah. But I know as Sixers fans we get hung up on, making it past the second round and stuff, and but obviously we want to win the championship.
No. You want to win a championship, obviously. Yeah. But Joel's this season is great, but technically his legacy is really going to be about what this team does, especially with the other two quote unquote top big guys have already won a championship.
It's true.
And we haven't gotten past the second round.
Let me ask a question though to a former player like you. Obviously, you want rings. You want to look back at your career and see rings. But if I were to tell you, hey man, if I were to go to Joel and be like, hey, you're not going to win a ring in your career. I'm from the future and you don't win a ring in your career. Would the kind of career he's having right now be like the second thing you'd want out of a career if you just didn't win a ring? Like if you just couldn't have a ring and that's not an option, would the way what he's doing right now be like the, okay, well, if I'm not going to win a ring, then I just want to dominate for 15 years. Then absolutely dominate.
Most guys, if you go and ask them, they would rather have a great career without a ring than an okay career with rings. No, they may not say that publicly, but most guys want the better career, the more money, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you want. I mean, that's what you plan for. I mean, championship is a byproduct of that. So most guys would want that. But at the end of the day, with Joel's career, I don't think it's necessarily about him. It's going to be about how he's viewed amongst the greats.
Yeah.
It's some greats that did win. I mean, you know, Karl Malone is third in scoring now. Barkley and Patrick Ewing and a lot of other guys that didn't win, but they all went to the finals. The ones I just named all went to the finals.
That's true. That's true.
So it was never a topic of going past the second round. Like, that wasn't the issue for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all went.
Like, what top 75 players have not even been to a finals before?
I don't understand. Dwight Howard went to the finals. I mean, listen, there's a lot of people that went to the finals.
We just want to get out the second round.
Did Carmelo ever get one with you? No, Carmelo didn't.
What?
Not even as like a role player, right? No,
Carmelo went to the conference finals and lost to the Lakers.
Conference, okay, yeah, he went to conference.
We're baby steps. We just want to get to the conference finals, and then we can talk about getting to the finals.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a lot of the top players that, like, to say that he never got past the second round. It's not many.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Ewing got there that 1 year. Well, 94, right? Ewing got there?
Ewing to the finals.
Yeah.
And the conference finals, I believe. But I know he got to the finals. And they lost to Houston and took it to game 7.
Harden, another one.
Conference finals.
Okay, he got to the conference, though, yeah.
Conference finals, yeah. Oh, you mean just further than Embiid? Yeah, I mean, like, all these guys got further than Embiid.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reggie Miller finals, right? They lost.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. It's not many. It's not many.
Yeah.
Did Chris Paul? Chris Paul didn't, right? Conference finals, yes, but not
finals.
Not finals.
Yeah. Finals. They lost to Milwaukee.
That's right, Phoenix.
Oh yeah, okay. So he did. Yeah, okay. Wow. Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah.
Man.
So he needs to become one of those guys.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. You go to some people like maybe like Dominique. I don't know if Dominique made it to the
conference. That was the next guy I was on, actually. It was Dominique.
But I don't know. Like, I don't think Dominique did, but that's what I'm talking about. Like, I'm talking about the top players that we talk about, some top scorers. Most of them at least went to the conference finals.
Conference finals, yeah, that's crazy. And not finals. I think like 2 maybe did not go to the final, and that would
James
be
Harden been to a finals.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. They lost. Okay. Yeah. So it's Carmelo.
Yeah.
And Dominique.
Yeah. It's not me.
No, man, that's pretty crazy. Wow.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, so the year is awesome, but that's the only thing that can sour it. How the team fares.
Yeah.
Because it's going to turn the tide from, here we go again. You know, great regular season and nothing in the playoffs. So I do think that he has to do more in the playoffs this season.
Yeah.
Have to.
Yeah.
Another question too. Do you think, because I know you've gone on record saying about Joel's window and whatnot, and how it may not be as long as some other people think it might be. Mm-hmm. Do you think, though, with how automatic that mid-range free throw shot is, do you think that extends his window a little bit without the down-low pounding? Because, I mean, he's getting most of his points from that free throw line. Not a free throw. I mean like a mid-ranger.
I always thought that was a part of his game. Like I was always one telling him to play more closer to the basket more often. In some ways, that mid range, that shot he's taking, they're all mid range shots. Even when he's on the block, sometimes those are all mid range shots. So I'm fine with all of that, especially with him getting in position where teams have to double team. You're seeing more and more teams kind of doubling him, even when he catches that ball at the elbow. So that's opening up the court for other guys, opening up the court for Maxey, opening up guys for getting cut, slashing to the basket, offensive rebounds, wide open shots. It's still opening it up. So I'm fine with all of that. Do I think that adds to his kind of window per se? I don't, because I think that it comes down to everything else, because I do think that he could take a step back defensively and take a step back rebounding.
Yeah. It's true.
So in order for everything to keep going forward, I don't think he can take a step back in those different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like dominant MVP, dominant
across the board,
elite, like all-star.
Yeah, he still doesn't sound like he's still going to be really, really good, but is it to the point where the teams double him? Are they still doubling him? Or are they pulling him away from the basket, and now all of a sudden he's exposed on pick and rolls because he can't play up and be able to rebound and block shots? So he's playing at a high level, and I still believe that we got to win a championship within, 2 years?
2-3 years.
I believe you got to do it. Yes, I believe you got to do it, because when you start dropping that it's steeper than we want to believe.
I know. Yeah.
So
and that's just slowing down. We're not even talking about potential injuries.
Yes, yeah. So him slowing down and like him still being productive, he's going to be productive as long as he's healthy for a long time. But being productive and making a run in the playoffs every year are two different things.
Yeah. But that mid range, man, it is deadly. My God.
That's sweet.
Yeah. Analytics would call him the exception.
Yeah. Not many of those. But the ones that can do it just have that.
It's just the ones that do it well. They call them the exception.
Yeah. Yeah. Him and Durant got that little area.
Instead of saying more guys should be doing it, they just call them exceptions.
Yep. I know. Yeah.
70 points with only 2 threes last night. And then you look at the other hand, Cat's 62 points. He had 10 threes last night.
And the last one was an air ball to lose the game.
Yeah.
So it's you gotta be efficient both ways, basically.
Yeah. And seize these moments to take us to past the second round.
Yeah.